Okay, right, we're going to get started so that we can talk you through our meet and greet. So welcome to the Year 3 Parents Meet and Greet. I know most of you produce this every single year, but welcome to Year 3. I know your child has settled well in the last 2 weeks. This is a good time to get to know the whole Year 3 team and just to understand some key messages that the Year 3 want to share with you and so you can find out about the Year 3 curriculum. So, this is the Year 3 team. So, I'm Miss Woodall, I'm the Assistant Head and Inclusion Lead at Keir Hardie. I'm Miss Wiley, I'm one of the teachers at wellbeing.
Yes, I'm Mr. Medina, 3A teacher.
I'm Miss Bailey, I'm 3A TA support.
RSW, teaching assistant in
Start Year 3 team. So, let's head over to you, or Mr.
Okay, yeah, Mr. A. Okay, these are good expectations that we have as a team this year for Year 3. Punctuality is very important to us. We would like you to bring your child at 8:40 to be there with us because we start the basic skill at this time. And it's a short time, but we are teaching something to children in that moment. And we request you to read at least every single day with your child at least for 20 minutes. Okay? We read with your children when in the school 20 minutes for reading population that we do every single day. Every single teacher is doing it. And we have goal our attendance per class could be 96%. Okay, right now I think that 3A is not getting that. So I would like you please to be possible to read that punctual every single day. And the homework is due on Thursday, okay? And reading in fact books need to be on Monday as well. And our day for PE are Monday and Wednesday this year. And all information will be on Class Dojo. Any communication with the teacher will be through Dojo as well. And please don't report absence on Dojo. You have to call the school for this problem.
So it's 96 hours percentage that we're aiming for child. If your child is ill, now that does happen, just send your medical evidence to the office, and we will talk about it a little further. In terms of the reading, obviously it's 20 minutes reading their school book, and that's either their book that matches their phonics ability or their reading comprehension, plus reading for pleasure. We need to really encourage children to become readers. Too often children are on devices and that's all they want to be. So we're really about big children reading school, because reading is a life skill. The more children can read, the more doors it does open for them. Yes, it's my part. So it's safeguarding. So obviously when you bring your child to school, we are like their parents for the day. We look after them, we keep them safe. So every adult in school has safeguarding training. So it's a really strong culture we have at school. We're trying to teach the children to keep safe, but also we look out for them to keep them safe. So in school, safeguarding is everybody's responsibility. It's part of our curriculum. But it's also something that the staff members do day in, day out. So one of the things about that we are professional, we work with child. So what's really important is we're thinking about the whole child and keeping them safe. So please never be offended if it's generally me asks you a question that's a bit safeguarding. It's really important that you understand we are here for your children, and sometimes they have to have a comfortable conversation that you think, oh my goodness. So one of my common conversations is, what's your child watching online? Or what's your child viewing on Netflix? That's all the conversations we're having at the moment. So safeguarding in school is making sure we are keeping the children safe. But sometimes we'll ask you about what's happening at home. Please never be offended. We are here to support your children. So in school, the safeguarding team is the senior leaders plus the learning mentors. So occasionally, you might get me on the phone having a bit of a difficult conversation, but it's not because I'm being nosy. it's our legal responsibility to keep your child safe. So it could be your child's used this word in school. Oh my goodness, where have they heard that? It might be me asking you about your internet settings, because whether you believe it or not, your child knows how to access things that you don't on the internet. We had a moment last week in Year 3 where the children were wanting to watch something on Netflix. They're on Netflix, kids. But unfortunately, they didn't understand that we can't watch in school because it was a PG. That was only a U. So it's just a way of working. Obviously, when your child comes to school, and part of safeguarding is sometimes information with other professionals, and likewise other professionals share information with us. So this is where safeguarding is about honesty. So, for example, if there's a police incident outside the school, the police do notify school. If your child sometimes has a hospital admission, that's an accident, and they just want to check on your child, sometimes they will contact school, so vice versa. So please never be offended if we do ask some difficult questions. It's about keeping your child safe and you. Equally, if you are in a tricky situation yourself and you want support, the faces of people you can speak to if you're having a difficulty. Okay? We can point you in the right direction. So sometimes you're safeguarding, you're having a problem with your housing, having a problem accessing a food bank or electricity, or just want a bit of general advice. Sometimes you can't get that in the local area. Come to us as well. That's part of safeguarding. So we're here for you and your children to keep everyone safe. Just so you've got an understanding of that. But please, if we do, there are occasions where we sometimes do have to make
Technology. I did show them
personal. We're not trying to get into your lives. We're just there for the child. Okay, so I always just want to signpost that we've included this year just to help you understand that a little bit more. So yeah, that kind of links to online safety. Is you, Miss Lauren? Or is it me? Okay. So online safety, in school we have really safe systems. So if your child does search something on Google, we get an alert in the offices so we know what they're doing. If you're at home, you don't have that.
Yeah.
So one of the things that we are working on with the children is understanding how to be safe online. And they're taught this from reception. So it's about sharing. So we teach the children, don't share your photographs with anyone, don't share your passwords or your logins or anything like that. But we also need you guys to do that as well. So, for example, how many of us children might know their Apple ID, so they can download an app on Apple just because they're used to it. Okay? Just be mindful. How many of your children know your passwords for your phone? Because whether you like it or not, and actually, this week, some of your children are aware of what apps you adults are going on. So if your child does know your password to your phone, it teaches them to be safe, but also protects them. Okay? So that's one of the things we teach children to share responsibly. So we don't teach children to share their real name, their age, their address, their school, just that they're mindful. We also talk about managing privacy, so only communicating what they need to, and we encourage you to do the same. Ask for help. So we teach children in school that online, if we see something that we shouldn't be viewing, to talk to an adult. So this is where at home, it's checking your monitoring and your filtering so that you know exactly what the children are seeing. Because whether you like it or not, the internet's here. It's a brilliant tool, but it's really easy for them to see something they shouldn't. For example, they could be on YouTube Kids and it could go to something else. If it goes to a Peppa Pig, that's not a real Peppa Pig, it's something else. It's so easy. Okay, just keep monitoring. Make sure when your child is on a device, you are checking it. Check your history. Make sure if they're on a device, you can see what they're on. Okay, so about keeping them safe so that they are being sensible online. Respecting others, so we teach children to online, like we would in the real world, how to be safe to others and respectful, which is something that we look at in e-safety, and also to think critically and trust information. Now, it's really important that at the moment how much AI is out there, and AI is a really good tool, but also it can be really dangerous. So sometimes children read something online or see a picture and they believe it. So we're trying to teach children about looking at different sources and not just trusting what they see, because if you did that, it would be quite scary. Okay, so if you have any questions about using the internet, if you're not sure about if you've got monitoring systems in place, ask us. Okay, just be mindful, but also be careful when the child is on your phone, free for all. Okay.
In the school, we follow the British value because it's part of our society. And we protect the protected characteristics for every single citizen in this country. Every single week, we study one of them. One of them like democracy, rule of law, mutual respect, tolerance. Okay, and we teach children to follow them. So it's very important that we follow them every single time when we are inside the school or outside the school.
As well as the British values, obviously we teach these because these are part of our society, we also teach children in years 3, 4, 5, 6 about protected characteristics. These are characteristics that people cannot be discriminated against. So it could be their religion, their sexual orientation, their age, their gender. But just one that we really want to pull to your attention is obviously disability. We are an inclusive school, and sometimes we have children of different disabilities, and some of those disabilities are hidden. Sometimes you might look at a child and might not realise they might have autism, they might have ADHD, or they might be being investigated for something. Disability is one of the main reasons that we sometimes might adapt what we do. So we don't necessarily have a one-size-fits-all for our behaviour system. And I just want to draw your attention to that, because sometimes parents can find that quite challenging to understand, well, this is your behaviour policy, but this child's doing this. Sometimes we have to change what we do, because not all children are the same, or adapt it. Okay?
Okay, so for our curriculum, every single day we do basic skills in the morning. So this typically is areas that the children might be finding challenging. So right now in year 3, we're working on multiplication, because by the end of year 4, they have to sit a multiplication test. And from what we've seen from the last 2 weeks, they're not really strong with their multiplication, even what they should have known in year 2, which is their 2, 5, and 10 times table. So every single week, the TAs or the teachers test them on a specific multiplication to see how much they know. It is very important for them to practice their multiplication, because by the end of year 4, they do a test. So by the end of year 3, if they know, if they're confident at least half of it, and then they practice the other half in year 4, that's amazing. But if they leave year 3 without being confident in their multiplication, they do tend to struggle a little bit in year 4. So if we start a little bit earlier, it makes it easier for them. And also in the national curriculum, they have to have known the 2, 5, 10, 3, 4, and 8 times table by the end of year 3 anyway. So if you work together, practice at home, practice it at school, it will really help them. But also it links to their maths curriculum. A lot of them end up struggling when it comes to the topics of multiplication and division, because they don't know the multiplication. So the more they practice it, the more fluent they become, it becomes easier for them. When it comes to reading, obviously the children, reading comprehension, we link them together. The children are separated into phonics group or comprehension. So if they're not able to still read fluently, they're in phonics, but it's very important for them to read their books at home, because at the end of the day, when we do our assessments, they still have to be able to read and answer questions. The more they read, the more questions you ask them at home, the more able they will be when it comes to answering test questions. In English, we've changed up the curriculum a little bit. So we noticed that some of the boys in our year groups mainly struggle with when it comes to writing and reading, even some of the girls. So we've changed the curriculum up a little bit to help the whole year group in general. So this term we're focusing on portal stories and setting description, and we've noticed that because some of the kids are not reading, their imagination is not going wild, and reading helps expand their imagination, and it helps them come up with ideas. The more you read to them, It links to English, it links to the spelling, it links to them knowing new words, asking you about the vocabulary. It doesn't have to be long, 5 to 10 minutes every single night. It really does help the child in pushing them in their learning. The jump from Key Stage 1 to Key Stage 2 is a huge jump. So whereas before learning might have been easier, there is a lot of expectations in year 3 because they are in Key Stage 2 and they're not far from, they're only 3-4 years away from being year 6. So they have to learn all those learning of what a subordinate clause is, what a relative clause is, what an expanding noun is. And a lot of that, if they don't know what an adjective is, if they don't know what a noun is, if they don't know what a verb is, then they find it really hard when it comes to doing their writing. So it's very important to just read, lots of reading with them, explore lots of different words, even taking them out, going to the park, exploring, just expanding their vocabulary, letting them have the imagination of why would really help them. In science, we do, in this topic, we're learning about humans and animals. So there's a lot of, we have lots of fun things that we'll be doing in science, a lot of experiments, we look at sustainability and how to make the environment better. We also weekly do PSHE. In this term, we're learning about relationships, so who's in their family, and it would really help if you could send in a picture of your family to me or Mr. Medina on Dojo. I'll post it again just to remind the parents, but it's just for kids to have a picture in their PSHE book, and they can talk about who's in their family, what type of families they have. Every family is different. Why is their family different from other families? What's the similarities? What are the differences? So there's lots of discussions that we have in PSHE. In RE, same thing. We look at all the different religions. This time we're doing about Judaism. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we're able to visit the synagogue and learn more about Judaism. And then in PE, like we said, PE days are Mondays and Wednesdays. This time for PE, we're doing athletics and football. The kids are really quite engaged in PE and really do enjoy that. History for this term, we're learning about Stone Age. We will be doing a workshop in that, hopefully, possibly as well, but that's to be confirmed. Geography, we're learning about the United Kingdom, so all the different countries in the United Kingdom. In DT, we are looking at levers and leverages, which we also go into Legoland, so they'll be able to explore the divides and how the divides are made from the levers and leverages. In computing, they're looking at e-safety, like Mr. Walters already spoke about that. And in music, they're learning how to play the glockenspiel. Very interesting equipment. But in year 3, we also start languages. So they're learning about they're doing Spanish. We have a Spanish teacher, and they're doing Spanish with the Spanish teacher, and you can really quiz them at home and ask them what they've learned in Spanish this week. We also do drama, mindfulness. We have every other Wednesday in the term, we have mindfulness where the kids have Miss Ahmed, who teaches them mindful techniques of how to calm their mind, calm their body, but also times where we think they're a bit hyper, we do put on ASMR videos for 2 to 5 minutes just to calm them down as well, to regulate them. Teaching the children how to regulate themselves, how to calm themselves. Self-regulation is very important at this age as well, because it will start to help them in the future. And then we've gone through British values and spiritual worship.
As Mr. Brown said, it is a big jump, year 2 to year 3. Okay, so keep the dialogue open with class teachers. If the children struggle with their homework, talk to the teachers, let us know. But equally, we obviously have the rigour of the curriculum that we have to deliver. So if you're struggling, not got questions, keep the dialogue open, and we can share extra things that you can try at home. I do appreciate how we teach now is not how we were taught when we were younger. So there are different things that we use now. So ask for help. We'll share videos of you or post some things on Dojo with just some, obviously, the 2-week baseline assessment. We can see as a bit of year 2 knowledge they're not secure in. So we will post a couple of things that they'll really need to help them. So just use Dojo or send things that you can communicate as well. So our foundation subjects, obviously, one of our biggest drivers, I'm not going to see, you've probably seen the last 2 years, one of our biggest drivers with the foundation subjects is making sure the children develop vocabulary. The more the vocabulary the children have, the better they are communicating. So our curriculum in every subject follows our learning journey. So we want to make sure we know what they are able to do, improve the vocabulary, give them experiences. So talk to your children about what they've done in history. My advice to you is take them out in London. There's so many free things you can do in London and in the local area that will really support their knowledge and understanding. As well as the as well as the local area visits, go to Camden Town Library, get some books out, get your children excited about learning, okay, and learn with them. Because we will be sending projects home. And these projects, we like a 3D project in year 3, and it will involve research. So every half term, there will be some research questions that your child will need to do. And they're going to need a bit of adult support. So please engage with our curriculum with us, support your child, because what we're trying to do is make them lifelong learners that are wanting to learn more, okay? So pupil expectations.
We require, looking for this is very important for us. And always we encourage our children, or you should encourage your children to always try the hardest of the best in every single. Okay, yes, sorry. Yes, we encourage them every single time in every single lesson to be trying their best in every single activity that they're doing in the school. And it's not just in the school, outside, when they're at home. You should keep the same mentality and try always to make them to do their best. And I think that it is very important as a parents, you have to put in their minds that they have to be polite and be responsible every single time. That's why they say they be helpful and polite to other children and adults in the school or outside the school as well. And then number 3, they say follow school rules, including the class charter that we have in the classroom. At the beginning of the year, the last 2 weeks, we were developing this, the class charter, where every single children in the classroom, okay, was signing up what we agreed to do during the whole year about that. So if you go to the classroom with the parents evening, you can ask me, you can see there, and every one of them was writing something about it, and they were signing it to agree to follow this class charter. So it's important, maybe you can have a conversation with your children at home, and they can speak to you about it. And they get to the school every day on time. That is very important to us, as I said at the beginning of this meeting. Complete and return all homework, please. You know that we sent out the homework on Fridays. Please, I know that some of you are very responsible and they send it back on Monday. That is a very good thing. Anyway, as a teacher, we are giving Dodgers points, magic points for this kind of thing, because you are sending to your child with the responsibility that they have done the homework during the weekend. And wear the school uniform. Sometimes we don't want to be sending a letter, oh, your child didn't bring the uniform, or your child didn't have the PE kit. Okay, it's important that you do all the time. And this is very important that we use it all the time, the 5 Bs. Maybe some of you know what the 5 Bs are, okay? The 5 Bs are, the first one is, we have the break. We leave them to think about first, okay? The second one, okay. Yeah, the break, the board, the display that we have in the classroom. And always, if you talk to your children, I tell them, these are no decoration in the classroom. They are there for you to use it. Okay, we have put all over the classroom things that are gonna help to develop the learning in your children. And then I have the book that they can check, go back and they can read it. And I say, okay, I think that Mr. Medina told me that, or Ms. Maulin told me that I can use this. Okay, I'm gonna use it in my next activity. This is that we're doing. Okay, so and then the body, that is important for them to speak to each other when they say talk to your partner. Okay, but this is something. And the lastly, yeah, the teacher. Okay, yes, and the teacher. And the last, but you know, sometimes they just jump from I don't understand to the teacher. Yes, but we are just trying to have this culture that they follow the 5 Ds. And the last one is promote the school positivity in the whole school, that always try to be positive, never negative. So never tell a negative word to your child. We never do in the classroom. Okay, that is very important. And show the magic habit every single day.
I think the big thing is just we're trying to get children to be independent, to be self-motivated and driven, because how often do children rely on us to do something? Like, that is the biggest thing. Happy, confident, resilient children, that's what we're trying to develop. It's attendance. Miss Chowdhury, she's not going to talk, but she's just here for that. So attendance, you know that how positive an impact attendance has. So we've got a chart just to try and put it to you this way, okay? The impact of days off school is startling on a child's outcomes and attainment, okay? So the children who are 100 to 96% attendance, they're the best outcomes. If a child has 95% attendance, that means they've missed 10 whole school days. If they've got 90% attendance, that means over the academic year, they've missed 19 days. Now, if you get to the 90% zone, this is when Miss Chowdhury comes in and starts to go, look on my radar, I'm going to tell you. And as it gets below, then it can have attendance management involved. The reason Miss Chowdhury calls you, dojos you, sends you parent mails, send you meetings, isn't because she's being harsh. It's because we understand the impact of attendance and what that does on children. So regular school attendance, and that includes punctuality, impacts school attainment. Now, some of you might think, oh, my child's only late 10 minutes every day. 10 minutes over a week nearly equates to an hour of learning. As soon as we open the door and the teachers collect the children are starting their learning at 8:45. If a child's late, some children that dysregulates them, and then it can take 15 minutes to calm them down and engage in learning. Over a year, that's a massive amount of learning they've missed. Okay? Don't forget as well, we do not authorise term time holidays. If you book one, right? It is just really crucial of that.
Some of you might remember last year that the government brought in an initiative where, sorry, can you hear me? So the government brought in a new initiative where you, in a 3-year rolling period, you get fined first time 80, then it doubles, and then it goes straight to prosecution. So if you have taken holiday this year, that's your first fine, and then it will proceed. It's nothing to do with us, we just have to follow the rules. That's why we always say, please wait till the holidays, take your children away there. And also the impact that it has on their learning. If they're away for a week, 2 weeks, they've missed a whole chunk of their learning. Could be a whole topic of learning. And it's, you don't see the hard work that these teachers put in for your child to catch up and be where they should be at the end of the year. It puts a lot of pressure on us as a school for your children to achieve the best that they can do. So please, please try not to book holidays during term time. And as what Ms. Woodall said earlier, from 95%, you will get letters. We start warning you that it's starting to drop. And even for poor attendance, even if you haven't left the country and your attendance is poor, you also can get a penalty notice for that as well. Thank you.
So, yeah. I take all this time off, Miss Chowdhury, sat at a computer for hours, don't you? So lots of paperwork, Miss Chowdhury. So, reading. We are a reading school, so we are asking about our reading expectations. So we read to the children every day. We'd like you to make sure you read to your child every day. The vocabulary gap between a child that is read to and isn't is startling. It's thousands of words. So on a Monday, we would like the readers from books returned, and we will send them back on a Tuesday, Wednesday, okay? We want them in school, because as well as you read with them, we want to read with them. So over the week, either a teacher or a teaching assistant will read with your child. We will change your books. In your readers fund books, you should have noticed already that we put targets in your child's book, so you're aware of what we want them to work on. And then we will keep that ongoing and regular. Okay?
But also, we have told the children, so we're telling you, you need to sign so there's evidence that you're actually reading with the child. We don't know whether you're reading with the child or not. It's nice for you guys to add your comments as well and say that, oh, I think so-and-so is doing amazing, or I think so-and-so needs help with this. It helps us, help you, help them. So if you just, even if it's 2 or 3 times a week, sign it. And if you get the same books at home again in that week, it just means that they haven't been able to fluently read the book. That's why we're sending it home again. They haven't been able to answer any questions about the book, or they haven't been able to read the book fluently. So if you do see the same book for 2 weeks, that is the reason.
So if you want to check fluency, whatever book your child's on, they should be able to read 100 words per minute. So some of you, that's why we sometimes give them extra fluency. Okay? Right, use of magic habits, we've heard these over the years. We've got motivation, positive attitude, and gumption. So that's what we're trying to instill in them. Independence and effective communication are the magic habits we're trying to instill in school. Now, in school, we've already touched on some of the behaviour expectations, language of choice. Now, we are really trying to encourage children to make right choices. And these are strategies that you can use as well. So rather than say, no, don't do that, would you rather do this or that? Whichever the options are you give them, they're your options. They're not them in control. But that's what we're trying to make children feel like they're a bit of control. Zones of regulation, and we're going to do some more parent workshops on this, but we've done a couple last year that some of you may have joined, is about understanding and regulating your behaviours. Are you knowing what zone you're in, labelling your emotions? A lot of children don't know emotions. They know happy and sad, and that's it. So if you're angry, okay, I'm feeling angry, what can I do to regulate and calm myself down? There's a lot of children not aware of what to do at that point. So it's sometimes the fight or flight mode. So we might have a group of children who, I get angry, right, I'm going to shout at you. I get angry, so I'm going to laugh, shout, I'm going to hit or kick you. So that's what we're really trying to teach. So in school, we're really going to praise and look at effort. We do have the tracking sheet, so I monitor attended behaviour in school. I can see which children are already starting to be on the tracking sheet every day. There are some that are being daily at the moment in year 3. We have reflection, where we get them to courage to think about what they have done, and also we have the rewards, the celebrations, and assemblies and certificates.
These are our uniforms. Some children are coming in school with really lovely, colourful trainers, which we love, but
not for school. Yeah.
It has to be black shoes during the week, unless it's a PE day that it's school trainers. But if on PE days, I've noticed that some children are coming in with their school shoes and then they're tripping and hurting themselves. So it's very important that on PE days they come with PE trainers. And now because the weather's getting colder, jogging bottoms, black, navy blue. Tops as well. Some of them are coming in with lovely jumpers, but it's not full uniform again, and they won't. I don't want them to get in trouble. It's not our uniform. It's not our school policy. It's not our school policy. It's teaching them for the future. So if they come in the correct uniform, if they're wearing a hijab, it's white, black, or navy. And
yeah, another issue we're having is girls with hooped earrings.
Yeah.
Please make sure they're stud earrings. This is just for health and safety reasons. And no necklaces or things like that. Okay, so we talked about your PE kit is your house colour. We come to school wearing their PE kit, and we've kept that from COVID. Just make sure appropriate footwear, hair, if you've got long hair tied up. Yeah, no earrings unless they're studs. Roll-on deodorant, that's when they get a little bit over. At the moment, we're still nice and clean in year 3. We're okay. Okay. Right, homework. So as you said, homework goes out every week. It'll be practicing basic skills, timetable, spelling, handwriting, and there'll be topic approaches. As well, what you'll see, continuing from what you saw in year 2, you'll get the stamps in your homework book. Okay, so that's just there to support you. If you think your child needs homework club, please sign them up to it. And don't be offended if we notice that we feel they need to go themselves. So keep it open, it's a good space to do it, but homework just builds on prior knowledge. Right, so staff expectations, okay? We talked about what we expect the children to do, but what we expect the staff to do is we expect exciting lessons that are pitched for your child. So if you figure out as well in terms of like homework, like it's too hard for my child, have that conversation and discuss that. Classrooms in the school building, we're still looking after 10 years, it's still a really beautiful building with lots of resources, so we'll keep that up. Help your child to understand what he or she is learning. So that's the job of the teachers and the adults in the classroom. You praise and reward, but also, you know, point out where there's life lessons to be learned. Not making the right choices, but we will talk to your children about it. Provide homework so that they can learn better at home. Teach about tolerance and British values. I can't stress this enough. If you watch the news at the moment, it's actually really depressing. That is a big thing that we need to do, is teach children to be respectful people and to tolerate individual differences. It's so important. Communicate about your progress. So last year we started the shorter. Oh, that's fine. That's fine. This child will take it. Last year we started the shorter reports, and we're going to do those again this year, but you'll get them 3 times a year. So a little bit shorter, more current and up to date, but as well as like our parents' evening. So we'll keep that up to date for you. And we will talk about your child's progress, but also how they're doing socially and emotionally and with their well-being. The adults should be role models. Please, if at any point you think an adult isn't being a role model or maybe not appropriate, you know, talk to them. If you don't get the response you need, talk to Miss Chowdhury, and then it gets to me, okay? We're here to work together, but we expect the same of you as parents as well. So it's that collaborative approach. And then, yeah, as I talked already about safeguarding your children, we're here to keep your children safe, and we will follow school policies as well as government guidelines. And then what we expect from parents. I know I actually know this group of parents very well because I'm really year 1, 2, and 3, haven't I? Right, so we just expect you to encourage your children to do their best. Be positive and polite with your behaviour in school to the adults. And sometimes it can be frustrating if it's not the response you wanted. Ensure your child attends school and on time, and communicate if they're not well. Ensure your child completes their homework each week, is wearing school uniform. You just encourage your child to have a go, and try and provide your children with some experiences. Okay, we're not saying take them X, Y, and Z, but you know, there's some really good free places in the local area in London that you can go on. And then any concerns you have with your class teacher, talk to them. All right.
Yeah, if there's any issues, just let us know. I know sometimes some parents might have an issue with what's going on in the classroom, and they find it a bit easier to communicate to Miss Woodall or Miss Otieno. It would be nice if you come to us first and then go to them, or we will signpost you to them.
So any issue, go to class teacher first.
Yeah.
If it's not resolved, then it's Miss Chowdhury. If it's still not resolved, then it's me. I know it's really tempting to go to the office. I want to see Miss Woodall. I'm not going to be your first point of call, and 9 times out of 10, I will have a meeting. But yeah, so just please work together. So yeah, communications. We're trying really hard to communicate really effectively. So there's lots of different ways we communicate. If you're not on Class Dojo, please get on Dojo. It's the most effective way. But already you should have had the newsletter, so you've got awareness of what we're teaching. That's gone on Parent Mail and Dojo already. You've got the school website and lots of information that you will get for communication. Obviously, if there's any ideas of improving communication, just let us know. So yeah, it's just working together as a team helps your child. But obviously, a big part of this is respect. It works both ways. So let's be respectful towards each other and communicate. And if you do want to ask me about the complaints procedure, I'm more than happy to go through it with you. Right, so there's a couple of really exciting things when your child gets into year 3. One of the first ones that's coming up very soon is Meadowlands, which we're going in a few weeks' time. We've already sent all the information out on Class Dojo, and you should have got the link to the parent mail. Not many parents have given permission yet, so this is our plug. Don't forget to do the permission, pay. If it's, I know some of you are having issues with parent mail with the payment. If that's still happening, let me know and I'll Bob Mr. Bond. But yeah, we've given you plenty of weeks' notice. It's the first big one, and it really does link to our curriculum. Okay, we're going to coach, come back on the coach. It's a fabulous day out. The children really enjoy it. It's going to link to literacy, it's going to link to science and D&T. So it really does come across the whole curriculum. And then over the course of the year, we go to Kew Gardens in the summer term where they learn about photosynthesis. We have the World of Work Week,
British Museum,
the British Museum, and
the synagogue.
oh yeah,
Place of worship.
we're hoping to go to a synagogue. Place of worship visits should happen every year group. The idea is by the time a child gets to the end of year 6, they've been to every place of worship visit in Newham. Yeah, so this is for you to think about. I will put a post on Dojo parent training workshops. So obviously we've done a few last year, but we want to find out what you would like, whether it's more on reading, maths, science, phonics, for example. If you would like some safety workshops like first aid, we did those last year, fire safety, behaviour management, a parent workshop that was very well attended with Dr. Ferguson, the educational psychologist in parenting. He is going to do some more, but we will ask you for some information on this so you can share what you would like for yourselves. Right, so thank you very much for attending.